Slightly different process. All right, we're live. We are live on most channels. I'm just trying to go live on Instagram, just for the banter. It's a slightly we're live on Instagram now as well, by the looks of it.
Oh, nice.
It's a slightly different process on Instagram. But if anyone's got any comments or questions, put them into the chat. Whatever platform you're on, really. Do you know, on a technical note, Jack, because we get a lot of viewers from Twitter, probably, or X, more probably than we get from YouTube when we do these live things. Do their comments come through on to StreamYard or not? I'm not sure if they do.
No,
That's
not that I know of. No.
That's a bit of a bummer because, so with, for example, with Instagram, you can see their comments, but you have to go into the Instagram app in order to see them. So sometimes I'll do that, but you know, it's unfortunate, really, because all we're seeing, really, as far as the comments are concerned, within StreamYard is the stuff that comes through via YouTube, which might be a minority, but whatever, it is what it is. Anyway, any comments you want to make? If you want to slag us off for being too skinny and having too low cut shirts and all of that shit, please feel free. That's what this is all about, man. That's what the show's all about, really.
Pretty much. Say that my arms are small. That used to be the meme. His arms are so small. It's like, yes, we know.
Well, I've been working arms twice a week now. I've been doing arms. So this guy's given me a program. So I'm doing an arms blast twice a week. I'm doing a shoulders blast twice a week, and I'm doing a chest thing as well. And I'm trying to focus really in on technique. And then I'm doing a little bit of the boxing stuff as well. It seems to be going quite well, and I've tried to up my protein and everything. So we'll see where we get to, man.
No, exactly. I mean, I still look better than the average 30-year-old. So
I mean, I mean, if you know, in a couple of months, I'm here with my shirt off, with loads of tattoos, like ranting at the camera, then you know, we'll know it's been a success.
You'll turn full Glenn Lawrence, sunglasses on, the snapback neck tattoos.
Yeah. Do you like Wes Watson?
Where's the series?
No, man. You need to get on board with Wes Watson. He's really good. He's like he's like a motivational speaker, basically. He was in jail for drug offenses. He spent, I think, a decade in jail, and now he's come out and he's built up this big YouTube following. He does a podcast and stuff, and he's just very, very, very muscular, very tattooed, but actually has some really good advice as well. James really likes him. James kind of got me into him. So it's all a little bit of the Josh Willing stuff. Yeah, I got up at 2:45 in the morning, bro, and I do 7,000 pull-ups, and it's all that kind of thing. But he is quite inspirational. It is quite good. So that's the avatar I'm going for in 2025.
Wait. Westwood. Yeah. Well, hold up. He was the guy who started yelling at.
Andrew Wilson.
Andrew Wilson at the Fresh and Fit. It's like, I know enough, buddy. I know enough. It's like, never mind.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, I don't have any particular ill will towards Andrew Wilson, but I mean, that was quite funny. But it was quite funny on both sides, actually, because I think they both got some quite good shots in, actually. You know?
It's oh God. I mean, this is what we have turned into.
Yeah.
It
was quite fun. It was quite funny because Wes Watson was obviously going on about Andrew's weight, and I mean, to be frank, it does look like he could probably sharpen up a little bit. But then they were saying to him like, "Oh, George Michael wants his jeans back" and stuff like that. Yeah. It was quite funny, I thought. But it's all bollocks, of course. I mean, none of this is going to help anybody's life in any way whatsoever. But as entertainment, it was great.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's like I've ran into Andrew Wilson once, maybe twice on a Rule Zero. James Sexton. With James Sexton and the New Year's thing. That's when I ran into him. Well, and then I saw him tweet that it's not about the boot on your neck, it's about whose boot. And then I just knew enough where it's like, okay, I know your shtick. And then it's kind of like, yeah, I don't care.
Well, I mean, I did a video with him a while back. We had like a debate, and it was kind of strange because it was one of those ones. It was a bit pointless in a way because I think he was like, as it happened, the time that we had the debate, I just got back together with my girlfriend. So I was in the very, very early stages of that. So obviously, I wasn't going to be going on stream going, yeah, fuck these hoes and, you know, relationships are shit. Like, so I was offering a much more nuanced, and I think he was expecting just a real, like, typical, like, red pill versus Christian trad Barney kind of thing. And that wasn't really what I offered. I was just like, well, I was kind of like, yeah, you do you, bro. And he was like, no, but what about this? And I'm like, yeah, well, whatever, you know. So it was all, but to be fair, that's kind of how I feel anyway. Like, I don't really care. Whether I have my girlfriend or not, I don't really care if Andrew Wilson's married. I don't care if he's got 4 kids. Like, I don't give a fuck. I mean, he can do what he wants to do. If that makes him happy, great, you know?
But that's with most debates everywhere, right? I've seen a couple, and it's like, why do you care? That's always my biggest question. Why do you care? It's like,
yeah.
Okay. But you are doing things opposite of my belief system. So?
Yeah, I mean, well, most arguments online are just a complete fucking waste of time. And
yeah, it's like I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of Andrew Wilson. I'm just not. Maybe as a person, he's a great guy, but as a content creator, I'm kind of like, I think he's shit. But that's me. That's me. That's not Troy. That's me.
Smoking on a podcast is a bad look for real. I don't know, man. I've smoked on podcasts before, but I've been a naughty boy. I'm obviously clean living now, so. Since yesterday, so it's all good. But I mean, so we called this show why talking politics is a complete waste of your life. I mean, we can start off with that, obviously take it off in different directions, but it's kind of connected with what we talk about already, which is there's this whole slew of content that's out there. I mean, do you remember back in the day, you know, it was all basically like dating advice, wasn't it? Really, it was Pook, it was, I suppose, the So Suave stuff, you know, Rollo Tomassi, it was
Roche.
Heartiste, and it was basically, all right, you know, I'm not very successful with dating. How do I get better at dating? And that was it. And then for some reason, it's becoming mired in all of this bollocks, which might sometimes be vaguely interesting. A lot of the time, it isn't. That has really zero bearing on anybody's life. Now, you could talk about the Biden-Trump debate, okay? Now, yeah, for sure, Biden, you know, not looking like a spring chicken who's going to set the world on fire anytime soon. Now, you could argue, okay, that is going to affect people's lives, because if he gets elected, then is he the right person to be running the country, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, belly aching about it for hours on your, you know, 7,000 strong Twitter account is going to make fuck all difference in the big scheme of things. Do you know what I mean? It's just literally, it's going to make zero difference. So why even focus on it? You know, you could write one tweet and go, oh yeah, Biden was a bit shit yesterday, but like to make a huge thing about it, complete waste of your time. It's not going to improve your life. It's probably not going to change the outcome. It's just like there's no value whatsoever in it at all.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we've seen that with Pat Stedman. We've seen that with Cake Tits. We've seen that with, and I'm sorry to say this, but we've seen this with Tanner Guzzi, where it's like, Trump is our savior and things like that. Yeah, but is he going to save you from jail? Is he going to save your marriage from divorce? No, he isn't. That's not going to happen. Trump is not waking up and thinking, wow, I wonder what Pat Stedman is going to do.
No. All of these, none of these people give a fuck. I mean, like, they're just, you know, it's like in the UK. I mean, again, at the risk of talking politics, but we had the election yesterday, and Labour won, massive majority as predicted. But the Reform Party, which is a little bit more of the more sort of right-leaning kind of, you know, probably anti-immigration sort of party. Yeah, Farage basically. They've got 4 seats, and Farage got a seat for the first time ever. Farage has got a seat in the Commons, so you know, good for him. But he doesn't give a fuck. You know, he doesn't really care about. Like, I mean, all he wants to do is get the donations in, buy more tweed jackets, you know, buy more fucking pints of bitter, get more red-faced, complain about immigrants, and then go home and fall asleep in a drunken comatose stupor. He doesn't give a fuck about you or the country. He's going to be dead soon anyway. Who gives a fuck? Like, this is the thing you've got to realise. Anyway. Well, I don't know, 90? I don't know. Well, no, he's not. He's probably in his he might, I'd say 60s probably. But you know what I mean? It's like, I'm just saying generally. Like, these people, in the main, do they really care about you? Not really. No, that's not. I mean, they might peripherally have some of them, are probably better human beings than others. But for the most part, they're there for their own glory. They're there for their own enrichment, for status, for narcissism or an ego. And you're just fueling the fire, and jerking off while you're doing it. Whereas actually you could be out and about doing something more meaningful. Now, we have a detractor here who's saying, to be honest, to be fair, talking about dating is also a waste of time. You either go out there and date or you don't. You're not really going to change what's out there and how dating is. I would fundamentally disagree with that statement, because actually the manner in which you approach dating makes a huge difference to the kind of results that you can get. And we see this every fucking day with the clients that we work with. And I've seen this in my own life as well. So it absolutely is worth talking about dating, because with dating, you have to do certain actions in order to get a result. Okay. And the manner in which you perform those actions is going to have an outcome, or is at least potentially going to have an outcome on what happens. All right. Talking about Farage on Twitter is going to have no fucking effect whatsoever on the outcome. So I would fundamentally disagree with this dude. What do you think, Jack?
Yes and no. The thing is, when you talk about dating, there's actually some directly applicable advice that can change your life for the better right away. Where it's like when you and I tell each other, or somebody asks in the chat, like, hey, I haven't had a girlfriend in years, something is wrong, blah, blah, blah. We ask him about the situation. He's like, yeah, I'm kind of overweight, blah, blah, blah. And we tell him, well, you need to lose weight, get to the gym, get on a workout, get on a diet plan. He can implement that right away and change his life for the better. Looks-wise, at least. The charisma, that will come later. But when it comes to politics, when we're like, oh, our economics are shit and our foreign policy is shit and they do everything about, what's that thing called again? Global warming. You and I can complain about that, but a guy listening to it cannot apply anything to his life directly today to change that. He can't.
Exactly. But you can. So look, to be fair to the guy who wrote the comment, I would agree that there is probably, and we contribute to this, there probably is too much content about dating, because really the minutiae of all of this stuff, yes, you can go down that rabbit hole, and yes, that can be a bit of a waste of time too. So I from that point of view, I get it. However, there are also guys, and we meet them every single day, who are fucking clueless. And we were saying this before we came on air. This material has been out there for years. I mean, at least 20 years, if you're looking at it from when the game came out. And really, there was material even before that, right? Ross Jeffries, dodgy books you buy in the back of magazines, how to pick up girls. This information has been out there for a long time. And guys still fucking get it wrong. Okay? So it's not true to say there's nothing to be learned and you can't change the outcome, because you absolutely can. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, my dating life used to fucking suck. Like, it used to suck balls. Okay? And now it doesn't. And there's a reason for that. The reason for that is I changed a lot of the behaviors that I was doing in order to try to attain the results I wanted. All right. If I hadn't learned how to do that, and it took me, and trust me, it took me a lot longer than it needs to take you guys, because you guys could just, jump on a call with us,
learn from us
or something. Yeah, exactly.
I've seen that in lifting, where it took me so long to properly squat and blah, blah, blah. And then I teach people and they get it within a day. It's like, that took me months.
Exactly. And that, by the way, is the value of coaching, right? And then we always, it sounds self-serving, but actually coaching is incredibly valuable, because it just speeds up, it expedites the whole process. Walking Note says, you gave me the motivation to go to a family event yesterday, lol. Well, glad to hear it. That's good. Unknown says, what happened to Pearl? Her content is all gone, demonetized too. Well, I actually met up with Pearl. I'm sure she won't mind me saying, I met up with her for a coffee the other day. I went to the studio. They are, she's leaving London. She's going back to the States. Okay. And she's got another studio over in the States. So she's still recording stuff. She was demonetized. She's got her own private platform where people have to pay to watch content. So there's that. She's also doing more client work, I think, where she's helping other people building up their brands and stuff like that. So, she's doing fine. She's got shit going on. She hasn't disappeared entirely, but, the reality is demonetization. If your model is basically I make money through ad revenue on YouTube and then suddenly you get demonetized, then yes, it's going to have a big blow. Luckily, I've never made any fucking money at all through monetization on YouTube, so I'm kind of fine. Yeah, it was obviously it's been a big problem for her. But yeah, I mean she's doing fine. She's doing stuff. She's getting on with it.
I mean, the Fresh and Fit left YouTube. I went to Rumble.
Have they totally left it?
Yeah, shout out to Miguel real quick. Hold up, where is it? Since he's here, I have to do it. Look at that, Miguel. Good to see you, buddy. No, but Fresh and Fit left YouTube. They're going fully on Rumble now. I don't know. Is Pearl doing that too? It's like I said.
Are they actually going to leave YouTube entirely?
Yeah, they're going to leave YouTube entirely. Apparently, there's no traffic from YouTube going to their Rumble. Maybe something like that.
Well, I don't know what Pearl's plans are as far as that's concerned. I mean, I think the general consensus is you still kind of need YouTube because the mass is so much bigger. Like I don't know off the top of my head the size of the Rumble audience, but it's significantly smaller than YouTube. Having said that, I suppose the benefit is you are going to get a lot of like-minded people on there, right?
Yeah, YouTube is, I believe, the largest search engine next to Google. And like DCC says, like YouTube audiences much better customers. I believe in there. The algorithm on YouTube, I believe, is way better too. And I remember even Stefan Molyneux saying that when he got banned of YouTube, he's like, it's hard to get your audience on YouTube to a different platform because YouTube is so very the algorithm just works. It's just once you know how to play that algorithm, which I still don't till this day. I just heard 3,400 yesterday, 3,400 subscribers.
Well done, congratulations.
But I got a very like tight knit group of audience. I almost know most of them by name. But
to be fair, that's actually what you need. Like, and this sounds like a cope, and people are going to say, "Oh, this is just a cope," and blah blah blah. But actually, the reality is, you don't need to make money. You don't need a huge audience. You really don't. You can have a relatively small audience. It's the engagement that's the important thing. It's like, do they actually buy into you? Do they like you? Do they like your message? All of those things. I mean, I would, myself, I mean, I've done pretty well. My audience is what, 20-odd thousand. It's not huge by any means. James, before he got cancelled, they're redoing their channel now, but before he got thrown off, his audience, I think he reached about 35,000 or something like that, which again, in the big scheme of things is not huge, but he was making a ton of money because people really bought into him, So again, people think, and yeah, I mean, obviously there's sort of that. Crudely, you can say, well, the more people that see your stuff, the more likely it is someone's going to buy something. Yes, but in reality, I think the depth of the relationship you can build with the people that are watching your stuff, the better. Mm-hmm. And like I've said to you before, I mean, strangely, when I think about engagement that I've had, you can often tell by comments and you can tell by people writing to you. And sometimes it was actually when I was doing my blogging that I was getting the best engagement. People would write letters to me or write emails to me and be like, "Oh, Troy, I really feel what you were saying there. I really get that, blah, blah, blah." And I think that, in a way, is more valuable than having 100,000 people clicking on your video and maybe not even watching it properly.
The different people who like conspiracy theories and people who are actually really into conspiracy theories, big difference.
Is that Miguel?
Yeah, that's the real Miguel. He's a mod. And that's the real one.
The difference is people who like conspiracy theories and people who are actually really into conspiracy theories. Big difference. How do you mean? Or people who just like them, but they're not.
Yeah, who just like to talk about them, where it's like, "Oh, did you know they faked the moon landing?" And then you have the guys who go like, "Yeah, Kubrick filmed it. And you know where? He filmed it in that studio. And you can tell by this angle. And did you know?" Like, the guys who go really into it. There was one time, what was it? Apparently, Mike Sartain debunked something on Twitter about a conspiracy theory about the moon. No, about the flat Earth, because you've got flat earthers now.
Well, Zerka was flat. Zerka was flat
Yeah,
Earth for a while.
yeah, something about that. And he debunked that, and I retweeted him like, now do Paul McCartney. Unfortunately, he never did. But you know the conspiracy theory about Paul McCartney?
What, that he's... No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? It's actually pretty cool that apparently Paul McCartney was replaced right before Abbey Road, that he died, and that you hear it on Revolution number 9. When you play that backwards, they say Paul is dead. And this is because on the Abbey Road album cover, he is holding his cigarette in his right instead of his left hand. And Paul McCartney is a well-known left-handed...
But it has to be said that some of the songs on Abbey Road are some of the greatest songs. So if they did bring in a replacement, then it was a decent replacement. So there's a couple of things. So Dolocost, so Miguel says YouTube audience versus Rumble audience is sort of like red pill versus black pill. Really? So Miguel, in your professional opinion, I mean, are we better off? I mean, I don't even really have a Rumble. I don't use it. I mean, in your opinion, do you think I should start a Rumble? Would that be a good thing to do? Try start building an audience on Rumble? Would that be, from a business point of view, not even for ad revenue, but just to bring people in? Would that be a good thing to do, or would you not recommend it? Like, I'm not really sure. I just don't use Rumble enough to really know. Apart from sometimes watching, like maybe Andrew Tate or something, but in general, I'm just not on there. Whereas I'm on YouTube the whole time. And then this guy, Anthony M. Troy, you spent the last 2 days talking politics with me and no named X account. Lol. You're right, I have, and it's been a complete fucking waste of time. And I hope it's I apologize, and I'm sure it's been a complete fucking waste of time for you too, Mr. Anthony M. But exactly that. Well, that was partly one of the inspirations for this stream, because you're right. We spent 2 days talking about this bollocks, and where's it got either of us, right? Nowhere, really. I mean, so that's why, in general, I prefer not to talk about it. Now, sometimes I will, because I'll get drawn in, and somebody says something, and it kind of like triggers me or whatever. I mean, yeah, and also as well, I just sometimes think. I don't know, really. I sometimes think the people who come in with very strong opinions, but they don't necessarily show themselves in an avatar. You can't see a picture of them. It always makes me a bit suspicious. I'm a bit like, okay, what's your real agenda here, though? Like where are you actually coming from with this stuff? And I always think that's a little bit kind of interesting. But listen, man, I'm sure you're a great guy. I went over the top. I always go over the top, man. It's too much fucking trend. It's too much cocaine. I'm sorry, bro. Maybe we could hug it out one day. I don't know, but I mean, but you're right. It was a complete fucking waste of time.
And we got the £5 from Sergio Cole with the great avatar of his dog.
And by the way, Anthony, he said, agreed. Still a big fan of your content. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. And with all sincerity, look, I probably went over the top. It was, just it's me fucking around. Sorry about that. And let's agree to. Let's just park here and move on from now. So Dollar Cost Crypto says, Miguel, I'm considering using it as well, but you have a lot of people who like professional trolls on there, and there's no way to stop it.
Really? Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, but you're gonna get professional trolls everywhere, aren't you? Really?
I mean, but we like on YouTube we have one, Billy. And it's like, we know it's him. We know it's him.
We don't just have him, though, surely. We've got a bunch of it.
I truly think it's just him, in all honesty. At least I have only one. I have only one troll, and he pops up every now and then. And that is just Billy. And he's welcome. I've told him before, where it's like, Billy, you're welcome, man. Just use your own account, and we're fine. We're fine. But and real quick shout out to Sergio Cole with that $5. He says, Indeed. Good to see you, gents. I do appreciate it, Sergio.
Indeed. So, King Trust Issues. What a name. What a pleasant surprise to wake up to. Morning, gents. Yeah. Anthony says, if you could apologize for calling me a racist on your ex account, that would be great. I mean, yeah, sure. I'm sure you're not racist. I mean, look, I do get it. I get the argument, right? What he's basically saying is, he is concerned that cultures are losing their inherent identity. And obviously that's fueled by immigration and so on. And yeah, I do understand that. I do get that argument. I think it's. I mean, what do you think about that, Jack? Are you worried about Holland or losing its?
I don't think you want to know my opinion on that.
Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. So, all right, send them. All right, let's send them to right.
I'll just say it like this: every train ride I go on to work, there's always something going on. Ever since the last 2 years, we have armed guards on the train. Yesterday, they had to kick a guy out of the train because he was smoking pot in the fucking bathroom.
And was he an indigenous?
Always, yes, every time. And
but no, was he an indigenous member of the Holland community?
No. He was,
okay, all right, okay.
He was an immigrant, and it's every time it is a problem with an immigrant. So
I mean, yeah, I get it, man. I get it. I think it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because I think fundamentally it's not really my wheelhouse, right? Like it's never been like I've always been fundamentally, obviously, I've always been like somebody writing about dating, doing dating coaching, talking about all of that kind of stuff. And these other issues are sort of peripheral to that. And I haven't tended to get involved. And plus, and these people are going to say this is naive or dumb or whatever, but I do think generally we should take people on their own merits. Okay. So, there are, what is it in the world? Is it like 1 billion people? Is it like how many billions of people are there who are of the religion that begins with the letter M? I mean, it's like a billion or something, right?
That is
so we're not. So are we saying they're all? I mean, they're not. Are we saying they're all terrible people? I mean, that just doesn't make any fucking sense, right?
No.
So
I will agree with you on that one, where it's like, yes, it is true that no, not all people of a certain faith are like that, or people from a certain heritage are like that. However, as in being in the manosphere, we always say like, not all women are like that, and all women are like that. It's kind of like all snakes are poisonous, and I'm very sorry, but when I just look around in the Netherlands and I see who's doing it, it's kind of like, yeah, you know what? Maybe we should deport some people. That would just fix a whole lot of issues right there. But
well, I mean, so somebody said, Sergio says, I only see burqa in London and it's sad. I mean, again, I kind of have to disagree with that. I mean, I don't know how much time you spend in London. I don't know how, I mean, the reality is still, particularly since today when Rishi Sunak got kicked out, the reality of the situation is that Britain is still run by a small cabal of white, older, middle to upper class to aristocratic men. Okay, that's the fucking reality of it, and all of this hand wringing on Twitter about, oh my god, it's gone to the dogs, it's fallen and stuff like that. Bullshit. And people will say, okay, so Sadiq Khan, you've got a mayor who's like, who's Muslim, whatever. All right, fine. Well, who gives a fuck? The reality is the establishment in Britain remains of a certain ethnicity, of a certain class, of a certain type of person, and they're mostly men. Okay, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. All right. Now, have the demographics changed in certain cities and in certain parts of cities? Yeah, yes, they have. Is that a problem? I mean, there seems to be some social problems with it that have been highlighted. There also seems to be, from what I see walking around, quite a lot of harmony as well. Like I don't see shit kicking off all the time by any means. The area. I mean, it depends. Like with anything, it depends where you are. It depends what area you're in. I mean, my area is pretty ethnically diverse. It's not like there's fucking knife battles every night. You know what I mean? People are just getting on with shit.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Like, I live in the north of the Netherlands, and I live not nearby. It's about an hour away. There's an asylum seeker center right there in that city, and by God, it's like every day every day somebody gets harassed, some daughter of somebody gets attacked, and whatever, and it's just a complete shit show right there. And the dumbest thing was that the township was offering its inhabitants more money to secure their homes better, because the problem just was with home security. It had nothing to do with the people they kept bringing in. Oh, absolutely not. It's like, for God's sake. It's like, but the thing is, and like I said, I don't know if I want. Red Hawk is better at this than I am, but it's like I know Mish, Chad of Arabia, one of the greatest men I know, but he comes from Saudi.
Okay.
And he is like, he looks at the situation in Europe. He's like, dude, why didn't you get them from like normal Muslim countries? No, you have to go to the shit ones, he says. Like
which ones? Like Saudi?
Yeah, it's like Saudi is a very developed country.
Yeah, Saudi is very developed, and I've got a client over there actually who's extremely wealthy. I mean, there's a lot of money over there.
Oh yeah, there's a shit ton of money there.
Yeah.
Like, and for all the people, like, I am saying this, not Troy. Like, this is no guilt by association, but Europe keeps getting them from third world countries, and they're not doctors, they're not lawyers, they're not whatever, and you can see it happening. It's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I mean. The Conservative Party, before they got kicked out yesterday, they certainly did tighten up the regulations a bit. Certainly in terms of earning capacity for what you had to be able to earn in order to get in to the country. So I think you would have to be like it. It seemed increasingly difficult. You couldn't just be like, come over here and work in McDonald's. It seems like you had to have a certain you had to be of a certain profession in order to get through the door. But another issue that we face, particularly since Brexit, is that we haven't got enough people to do the basic jobs either. Because whereas before we had all of the, the Polish and the Spanish and the Italians and all these people coming over here, and it was quite easy. Now they have to earn like 30,000 a year to get here, so they can't just come and work in a cafe. So we are a bit fucked. And what we're noticing actually is that it seems like, and my girlfriend who's Indian has confirmed this, so this isn't just me saying it. It seems like there are more Indian people coming in. I think Rishi did some sort of deal where they made it slightly easier for like Indian students to come here. So if you go to a lot of the cafes and the bars and things now, there's a lot of like Indian dudes working there. Depending on I have no problem with that at all, really. But I think that
but that's even like a governmental problem. We had that in the Netherlands for years, where they looked down upon manual labor. They just looked down on it. And
okay, so Anthony says that's not true. 600k student visa from India and Nigeria in 2020 alone. What, you got to pay 600k to get a visa?
No, they took in 600k students. They gave
also they can bring dependents. Aren't they stopping that though? But then of course, I guess all this is up in the air because now Keir's in. It's probably like, yeah, bring your whole family. Don't worry, guys. Fuck it, it's gonna be fine. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is just what I've heard. I think, but they must have had to fill the skills gap somehow, because with Brexit, you can see it walking around London. You can see it definitely. There used to be more, as I say, Polish. There used to be more Romanian. There used to be more Italian, Spanish, etc. You just don't see as many anymore. You see a few, but people who lived here before, but you don't see as many. So they need the people from somewhere. So I don't know where they're getting them from, but it's the situation hasn't improved, let's say, since Brexit. Even though that was one of the big promises of the Brexit campaign, that it would reduce immigration.
Yeah, but it didn't. Absolutely didn't. But it's like when it comes to like proper professions, even back when I went to school, because I like the Dutch education system is very hard to explain in English, so I'm not gonna.
Jack. All right. Well, explain this.
We're not
Sorry,
gonna.
I'm joking.
We're not gonna go into that on stream. I've always been very, very, very clear on that.
I'm joking. Sorry. Carry on.
It's like we met up. It was great until it wasn't. But okay. Where was I? Kind of threw me off. Sorry. Education level. Yeah. So I was in the trades, but it was like, oh, you do the trades and blah blah blah, this and that. Then you were deemed an idiot. You were deemed stupid. And you were deemed stupid. So I wanted to keep learning. I wanted to get a better education, blah, blah, blah. So I worked my way through the education system, finally at college. And I got to college and I was a bit of an autodidact and everybody was a goddamn retard. And you see that now. And that's Cappy's biggest, like that's Cappy's brand, shit on the millennials for useless degrees, where that's what you're seeing now. Every workable, able-bodied man just has a useless degree. Just a useless degree. Well, they could have been a truck driver. They could have been a welder. They could have been a plumber. They could have been a carpenter, you name it, and actually earn money. But like you mentioned, those jobs are fading away. And now they try to solve that with immigration. But the problem is the immigrants they're taking in are not doing those jobs either. It's like,
but when you say those jobs are fading away, do you mean the people to do those jobs are fading away, or the? But I mean, what about? I mean, what about AI? Does automation come into this? I mean, is that getting?
I don't think plumbing will ever be automated. In all honesty,
yeah, some robot sticking its hand down the toilet and removing the Amber Heard that's that's down there. Troy with the Burt Reynolds shirt. Jack Hunter, I approached a Dutch girl. Good stuff. How did it go? Where else are we going to go with this? I don't even know, really. I mean, I sometimes think, I mean, at what point do you... At what point is it sufficient to take up arms and to say, right? And listen, I'm not advocating this for 1 second. By the way, this isn't about being violent or anything like that. But at what point is it sufficient? Let's put it another way: to get on your soapbox and be right. This is enough. Is enough. We've got to talk about this. We've got to make a big issue about this. And falling short of that, at what point is it sufficient to be like, well, look, the world is how it is. I can't really change it. So fuck it. I'm just going to have a good time and do what I want to do. If you look at someone like James Tusk, right? He's got back. I think he's back in London now for a bit. But previously he was in Latin America for 6 months. He doesn't give a fuck about the immigration problem in London or any of this bollocks. Like, why would he? He's in South America, surrounded by beautiful Latin American women, right? Then he's going to go to Eastern Europe. Like, he's designed his life in a way where none of this bullshit matters, okay? It only matters to, idiots like us who are sitting around with our dicks in our hands and not actually, engineering our lives in such a way that we can sort of escape the system. So, should the onus be more on the individual and what the individual can do to change his own circumstances within the prescribed structures that we are very unlikely to be able to change, rather than doing a Pat Stedman and, storming the fucking Capitol on the 6th of January and then getting put in jail. I mean, which, what benefit was that to anybody?
Nothing. It's like living vicariously through a politician who doesn't even know your name. It's like, what do you think he's going to do? I mean, Trump printed almost just as much money as Obama. Like, he was just as bad for the economy as Biden is right now. It just took him a little bit longer for the repercussions to kick in. So,
yeah. Troy Francis, learned helplessness is part of the goal of the system. I mean, what does he mean by that? Like, apathy is part of the system. Okay, well, what are you going to do then? What are you going to do? Take up arms and go and chain yourself to the railings outside Buckingham Palace? I mean, what's the solution? I wouldn't. If he means what I think he means, and he might not, but if he does, by which I think he means just apathy and just fuck it, then I don't see that as a weakness at all. I see that as strength, and I see that as pragmatism. To be honest, it's like that Harry Brown book. Oh, fucking hell. Tom Torero showed it to me. I forget the name, but there's a book by an author called Harry Brown. It's basically talking about, look, you know, accept the things you can't change, optimize the things that are going to make you have a great life, and fuck everyone else. You know, and this is why when people online are saying to me like, oh, you're a secret socialist, you know, Marxist, you know, whatever, I always say, well, no, not really. Actually, if anything, I'm a Randian objectivist. And what I mean by that is I'm a selfish fuck. You know, like I don't really I don't really care enough about society to really give a fuck about a lot of this stuff, to be honest. If it's not affecting me, like I just don't really care, you know, because the way that my life's set up, I mean, obviously I'm with my girlfriend, but if we wanted to, we could buy tickets, we could go to Brazil tomorrow, we could spend, you know, well, if she could get the time off work, but you know what I'm saying, in theory, we could just go and spend a month in Brazil. We don't have to worry about this bollocks. All right. So that, for me, that is the answer. The answer is not arguing, with all due respect to Mr. M, but I mean, the answer is not arguing with people on Twitter or X about this stuff. The answer is, all right, well, things are a bit shit here, so what can I do about it?
The trick to Twitter is to get people to argue for you. That's the trick. If you have Twitter monetized, just make a certain absurd take coming from a certain side, post it, mute it, and watch the comments go. And that's how you monetize Twitter. I see Nuke do it all the time. Nuke just posts a like red pill take with a little bit of spice in it, and just boom. And there goes the comments. They just go off on each other. It's like, what the hell? But he gets great engagement, and he's monetized on Twitter. And that's what I did too. It's like, damn, really? It's like, wow.
So he says feeling helplessness and demotivated and be super black pilled about the world in general is I suppose he means is the goal of the, you know, the elites or whatever. I mean, I'm generally speaking, I'm not actually that I don't feel that helpless and demotivated, to be honest, or even that black pilled. Actually, I think things are pretty fucking good. I think things, if you're a guy who's, you know, in decent shape and you've got your shit together and you're not a complete, you know, social retard, if you can say that word, which you probably can't. I think things are pretty good, to be honest, in 2024. I think we're living in a fucking great time. I mean, yes, you know, there'll probably be World War III later this year and we'll all die, but, you know, we're going to have to go sometime, right? So fuck it. But apart from that, I think things are actually pretty good.
Yeah, no, pretty much. Like I said, if you keep an eye off the news, the world isn't that bad. God damn it. This stupid Apple thing. Yeah. Did I show you the fireworks it gives me when I do 2 thumbs up?
Yeah. No, do it now.
Okay, hold up. Come on. There we go.
Oh, fantastic. Well, Anthony said you argued with me yesterday, and I'm nobody to you. Yeah, I did, and you know, but I thought we covered this already. I mean, sometimes, look, I'm a human being like everybody else. Sometimes I get triggered. Sometimes I get into stupid arguments with people. You know, it's not something I recommend to anybody else watching this. It's not really a valuable use of my time. I'm sure it wasn't a valuable use of Anthony's time. You know, and for what it's worth, I regret it, or I say regret. I mean, I say regret it. I mean, it's not one of the major. I don't think I'm going to be laying on my deathbed going, "Oh my god, I wish I hadn't had that argument with Anthony M on Twitter." But you know, in 2024, but you know, it was probably in hindsight, we went a bit far, and I shouldn't have done it. But you know, as I say, I'm a human being. Sometimes I make mistakes. In general, though, what I'm saying is that really this stuff is a waste of time, and really you should be focused on thinking, okay, what can I do that's actually going to make my life better, rather than what's just going to get in the way and waste time.
God damn it. So Miss Vaila, and I'm not even going to try the other name. Finnish is not Dutch. God damn it.
Jesus Christ. So, okay. So Harry Brown, by the way, his book is called, or one of his books is called How I Found Freedom in an Unfree World. I might give it another read. It's worth a read. This is something Tom Torero recommended to me some years ago, and it's basically about this whole thing. It's basically about, okay, look, I mean, when you think about it, all major religions, a lot of philosophies of life, Buddhism, 12-step recovery, Christianity to some extent. I mean, it all comes down to the same thing, which is, look, there's accept the things you accept the things you cannot change the things you can, and let the chips fall where they may. And that's sort of what it comes down to as far as politics are concerned. Now, the only exceptions to this is if you're making a shitload of money talking about politics. And if you're doing that, then great, carry on, And maybe that's sometimes why I have posted a little bit about politics, because you want to see, okay, is this going to get any traction or not? Because if I suddenly, look, I'm enough of a hustler that if I suddenly started posting about politics and I started getting sort of like massive views and all the rest of it, I'd probably pivot to politics tomorrow, because why the fuck? Why not? I can't really see that happening. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, I think if it helps your life in a pragmatic way, fine. But the people that do talk about politics all the time, if you look at, like, I don't know, Mike Cernovich or
what's his name?
Who's that dork from the Daily Wire with the
beard? Yeah, God damn it, Matt Walsh. There he is.
Yeah, Matt Walsh. People like this. I mean, they're making Lawrence Southern. I mean, Destiny. They're making fucking a load of money out of it. So it's fine. It's fine for them to talk about it. It's great. That's their job. If you're not making money out of it, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, no, pretty much. I mean, Matt Walsh earned about. I looked that up, because I used to have an application on my web browser where you can see how much a tweet earns. And Matt Walsh has an average of $20 per tweet. That man can make $100 a day by 5 tweets.
I mean, he's, look, I started out just not being the biggest Matt Walsh fan, because he's just a bit of a fake trad and he's just a bit boring and whatever. And I'm still not a massive fan, but the man knows how to make some money, and he can be quite entertaining. His video, I don't agree with him on a lot of things, but his videos are quite good. Brett Cooper, would you?
Who's Brett Cooper again? Oh, isn't that female Ben Shapiro?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's part of Daily Wire. Yeah,
is Brett Cooper a wood? God, that's a good question. I don't know, really. I don't know.
She's too young for me. She's
she looks 15, and that's kind of my issue.
No, she's getting married. She's in her 20s. She's getting married, but she's
okay.
Anyway, but her content is quite good. She's quite entertaining. She's quite funny. So yeah, I mean, but these people are professional political pundits, so they're making cold hard cash out of it. She makes something like. I looked it up a while ago. I forget the number, but it was like $500,000 a year, maybe more. I mean, she's doing all right, man. So the big question, I suppose, is there value in really getting super involved in this stuff if A, you're not going to make any tangible change, and B, you're not going to make any money out of it? And I suppose those are the questions you have to ask. Now, I think there are people out there watching this, some of whom we've probably engaged with already, who would say, well, no, it is worth making a big thing about, because I'm very concerned about the state of the world. And even in a small way, I want to do my bit to try and redress the balance or change things. So what would you say to that?
Wait, what? to what?
What I'm saying, I think there's people watching this who would say, well, no, it is worth talking about politics online. It's not a waste of time, because even though I'm not making money, I'm concerned about the state of the world, and I want to make a big noise about it. So that's why I do it.
It depends. Like, be informed about politics, where it's like learn to play the system.
Yeah.
Learn to play the system to your benefit. And that's the only reason I would ever get interested in politics, where it's like, okay, I'm not buying shit from everybody anymore. That's one. It's like, you can tell me you want to save my life all you want, buddy, but I don't trust you, because you're on that platform and you have benefiters, you have sponsors, and the what's it called again? God, what's that called again? Never mind, doesn't matter. It's a sort of profession with money as well. It's like, no, we're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. All I want to know is, how does your regime benefit me? Like, how does your regime
Yes.
benefit me? It's like,
Send
are
them.
you going to install a mini skirt and topless month because you have my attention, kind of thing? But nobody will ever do it. We're going to have Pride Month. Where's my big-breasted blonde with thin waists month? Where is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Where's my
I don't know,
parade
man.
of Sydney Sweeneys? Nowhere. It's like, then I don't care about your politics. It's like, come on, give me it. But no, we gotta have Pride Month and shit like that. So until then, I'm kind of like, okay, what are the tax laws? What are the tax laws? What are the income laws? What are your asset laws? Things like that. That's what you need to look for. And that's why in this space, a lot of people tend to lean more to the right, mostly in the economic sense. When it comes to social issues, a lot of people are more on the left because it's liberty for all. Because I don't care if you're a homosexual, you do whatever you want. I don't care if you're bisexual, you can do whatever you want. I really don't give a shit. And that's
Yes.
where like you get the conflict with the trad conflict, like, oh, you're into degeneracy. It's like, aren't you?
well, this is so. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with exactly what you just said, and you know, this is where you could get into trouble sometimes. I mean, I think I'm the same probably as you. Broadly speaking, economically, I'm more on the right. You know, I'm a capitalist. I would believe in small government. I don't think there should be lots of red tape. I think businesses should be free to operate with minimal government interference. Employment law. I don't think people should be treated like shit, but at the same time, I think, you know, a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. I mean, there's a lot of things on that side of the equation. Lower taxes for business to incentivize business. I think is all of these things. I think are a good thing. On the social side, like you said, I don't really give a shit, to be honest. I think people can do what they want. I mean, everyone, you know, gets up in arms about like Pride Month in you know, we had Pride weekend or whatever the other day in London. People always every year people post on Twitter, you know, some pictures of some flags. They're like, London has fallen, and it's like, no, it fucking hasn't. It's a fucking street party, man. Like, don't go. Like, I didn't go. I didn't go anywhere near it. Like, it had the effects it had on my life, zero. Like, it may as well not have happened. Okay, it had zero effect on my life whatsoever. So why do people get so fucking angry about this stuff? It's because they have a need to. They're venting. And look, I always joke, oh, it's because you're repressed homosexual or whatever. It probably isn't. It probably isn't that. But it's definitely, they've got anger about something and they want to externalize it. And so they'll pick on these issues in order to, you know, to sort of like find a way to externalize that anger for themselves.
Yeah,
which
no,
is, you know, by the way, so there was a tweet before somebody wrote, one thing I don't get is how wildly different the results people could get from cold approach. Some people could get laid on their first approach. Others could do 900 approaches and get nothing. Well, there's a few reasons for this. The first thing is that people are coming at this from very different levels. So if you are a well-dressed, chiseled Armani model looking professional guy who's very articulate and suave and smooth, but you've just had a little bit of a problem with approach anxiety in the past and you get given some tips and so on, are you likely to do well early on? Yeah, probably, right? So, you know, compared to if you're some bloke who's been sleeping on your mum's couch for 6 months and you stink of Cheetos and, you know,
we all know Doritos is the chip.
I mean, so for a start, people are coming at this from wildly different, like, baseline angles. But furthermore, it depends what you're doing when you're doing those approaches, because not every approach is equal. Okay, so it's not just like you go in like, oh hi, yeah, you're cute. Can I get your number? Like, and this is why me and James increasingly will talk about Riz and we'll talk about X Factor and Edge and all of these different things, because the way that one person can go in and do the approach, depending on their character and how they come across, can be hugely different to the way somebody else does. You could say the same thing and the girl's going to react differently. So to put it in crude terms, if you're a boring dork, then you probably can do 900 approaches and get fuck all. If you're somebody with some charisma and you've got something about you and you've got a good vibe, then you're going to get more. And if you're the boring dork, then you probably need more. You probably need some sort of training in order to figure out where you're going wrong and what you can do in order to improve the situation. Okay. That's the easiest way I can express it, really. It's not just like, oh, it's this mathematical thing and everybody's going to get the same, because people are different, and it would be lying. I mean, I don't want to go black pill here, but it would be lying to say that things like looks don't count. It would be lying to say that things like grooming don't count. It would be lying to say that things like the way you dress, you present yourself, all your fitness level, all of this stuff, it counts. Man. It makes a difference. Like, how good is the fucking package? And I don't just mean the package. I mean, like, the overall package, right? If you turn up and you look like a bucket of crap and you approach 900 women, I mean, well, you do the math. How many of them are going to want to sleep with you? Probably not that many, okay? If you look fucking great and you've got a bit of riz and you've got a bit of charisma about you, you're going to do better. I mean, it's not rocket science.
No,
would you agree?
I would, and I would also advise guys to keep in mind that a no is not personal. Women reject you for all sorts of reasons, and some women even reject you because you look like too much hassle. Like, she has to put too much effort.
Talking about too much hassle, we've got a very special guest.
No way!
Who's joined the stream?
Buddy!
One time only, MAGA MLD.
I heard we were talking about politics, so I wanted to give my take on a few things here.
All right.
Okay. I gotta put it on. Hold up. There we go. I gotta put it on, man. If he's here,
wait, you got something Bernie Sanders or what?
No, my robe. if we're gonna do the robe party, I'm gonna join you. Not Troy's getting out of his robe. I'm a
trendsetter.
I know. Oh, you're still wearing the old one. It's so awesome.
Listen, new apartment, same me.
Yeah, nobody's like you mentioned the Versace one. It isn't the same, is it? It's just not the same.
A certain bald Canadian told me to wear it, and it was just terrible advice as usual.
You recently had a pop at him, didn't you? Did you do a video? Is that video still up, or were you complaining about him recently?
Are you fighting again?
So listen. First of all, Jack, calm down. Everything's gonna be okay. So I was on a tropical vacation, having sex with a beautiful woman, and somebody said to me this thing in February where he's taking shots at everybody, and I happen to be in this video. He's talking about me, and I'm just like, it's 2024. I broke up with you 2 years ago.
He's alpha widowed, man. He's alpha widowed as fuck, man.
He is.
He can't get over it. He can't get over it.
I am just truly just suffering over here. I got a penthouse.
Ooh.
You gonna see this?
Still in Japan, or?
Yeah, let me show you. I'm on the 58th floor in this in Tokyo. Look at this. Look at this skyline.
Man, that is fucking cool.
Wow.
That is cool. Can you not set up? Are you streaming against that, or does that not work? I mean, can you?
I'm streaming, but in the daytime the light is too bright, and so it can't be seen. I could do night streams, but I like doing them in the morning because it's night at the USA. But this is a green screen. Actually, I'm a fucking fraud. I'm not a multimillionaire. It's all a scam. You know.
Yeah, he's in Delaware basically. It's like
yeah.
So all right, so what do you?
I'm gonna keep my hands off of this. I'm gonna keep my hands.
What do you think about the key question then? Because I'm sensing you're going to come at this differently. So should people is talking about politics a complete waste of your life, or should we all be on Twitter banging on about Biden and Trump and all that shit the whole time? I mean, what do you
okay? So if you pay attention to what's happening on a global scale.
Yeah,
in America, everything's shifting right. In the gayest fucking country in the world, France, they're going right as fuck right now.
Yeah.
And in Japan, These people are going so right wing. They are fucking marching in the streets, telling like, get all these foreigners out of Tokyo. They're ruining the country. Korea has been consistently racist against anybody that's not Korean. China, same thing. There, and in India as well. So if you take a look at just what's happening, I feel like they got the whole from the Obama administration from 2008 to 2016, that kind of like, let's make everything gay and trans and women and everything. I think it all peaked. I think we had a peak at I would say there was a cultural tipping point when they made Luke Skywalker a fucking homo in The Last Jedi. I think that was just like the breaking point. Because if you look at that, look at everything. Like everything girl power now. Like the Avengers sucks. Nobody cares. Everybody in Star Wars is black and gay and lesbian and transgender. They did the transgender gay shit in all Lord of the Rings. It's just I think people are sick of it. Quite frankly, look at the Bud Light transgender guy ruined Bud Light. So I just think when people are collectively talking about this, because it is not. Because here's the thing. You know, remember when we had COVID and all the lockdowns, everybody was being forced to take injections and we couldn't travel and all that? When the people started speaking up against the government and when people started fucking fighting back, everything was opened up. You know? So yes. I don't think it's hopeless. But if you're just sitting around jerking off about it, yeah. But if you're actually taking action, that's what the government, the elites, they want you to be black-pilled. They want you to have a nihilistic approach to life. They want you to be defeated.
Yeah, I don't disagree. That's what I was sort of trying to come towards, which is to say that, yes, on the one hand, if you're just sitting there jerking off and you're not really, you know, you're doing some angry tweets, you're not really doing anything, okay, that's probably a bit of a waste of time. But if you're able to contribute to a larger conversation, I think you can change things. And I think you're right. I think things actually are changing. You know, if you look at it, I mean, if you look at like, say, what happened with Gillette, and then obviously they pulled back from that, and I don't know, the Bud Light thing, they obviously realized that was a fucking massive mistake. I think you're right. I think look
at this Pride Month. This Pride Month was the least gay Pride Month we've ever had.
It took one girl with her blowjob technique to make everybody forget about Pride Month.
Yeah, Hawk Tua.
Yeah, exactly. One girl ruined an entire propaganda. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know, man. I think the way I was coming at it was from a point of self-improvement. Don't worry about the other shit. Just get on with it. But I guess there's a middle point. And like I was saying before, it gets to the point of when is enough enough? When do you get to that? And maybe it's now, or maybe it peaked 2 years ago, but maybe it reached a point where it's like, fuck it, now enough is enough. People need to start talking about this shit. People need to start making a difference.
I personally think that, I mean, you really got to look at the landscape, okay? We are making a difference. What we are doing, remember where we started? Not Jack, me and you, and the rest of the guys. But, you know, no, the Rule Zero you guys got going now, it's okay. You know, it's not bad. I like Paul. Paul, come on, man's a good guy.
Yes.
But if you look at the situation now, women are getting back in the kitchen, literally. Look at the trad wife fucking theme.
Yeah.
Look, this is they are, and these girls are content creators, and they are creating armies of girls who are like, yeah, I want to be a trad wife too. I went back to America recently, and I got to tell you, Troy, I had a great time. I met a wonderful lady. I had fucking time of my life.
Wow.
So
where was that? Was that Orlando?
No, well, I met her in Miami, and then she saw me in Orlando, and then I'll tell you offline.
Yeah, fine. Yeah.
You are looking offensively handsome. You look like you've been hanging out with Jay Waller. What's going on here?
Thanks, man. A lot of drugs, basically, is all I can say. No, I mean, I've been trying to. I've been hitting it hard quite with the training. I've been trying to sort of up the training. I've been doing some, little bit of enhancements here and there, man. So thank you. No, I appreciate it. But, I think it's just like, this global marketplace, right? You've got to try and fucking stay relevant, haven't you? You've got to just fucking, and I don't think age should be a barrier, really.
Yeah.
I think certainly I don't know, maybe when you hit 65 or something like that, it starts to go a little. But dude, there are guys in their fucking 60s who are fucking ripped, and I sort of think, why not step it up? Why not actually make more effort as you get older? Because like, what else are you going to do, right? So yeah, it's been good. You know, I've had a good few months of like some decent training and stuff like that, man. But you're looking good. You're looking good as well, though.
I too am taking a lot of drugs. So.
I always appreciate
me to leave you alone.
I always appreciate those beach shots that you send me when you're sort of semi-clothed, showing off the goods. But you can't go wrong with a little bit of the old injectables, can you?
Nah, I mean steroids are completely legal in Japan, much like the UK. Yeah, much like the UK. Yeah, it's completely legal.
I think some things. Yeah, it's pretty much it's legal here. I mean, pretty much you've got to have a certain prescription. I don't know. There's a few gray areas, but yeah, in general. So
it's a gray area thing here, but you could walk around with a vial of. It's the possession of the syringes which you need actual prescription.
Oh right, okay. Mm-hmm. What about HGH? Do you like that?
I've heard great things about it. I've never found like a credible source, but I don't know. I was talking to someone the other day, right? Because I was kind of when I was younger. I'm 38 now, right? And I always remember how you told me you told me like when you 39 is like you just had like a fucking phenomenal run. And I don't know, man. Like the hot girls are not stopping. Like they just I don't know, but I was talking to my bodybuilder friend today. And I said, everybody criticizes me about like, MLD's not like in the best physical shape or whatever the case may be, right? And I said, man, my body really is a fucking testament to my game because like I just never had to be super jacked or whatever.
Well, I mean, just on that note, I actually think, I was doing boxing training with a friend of mine, right? We were doing it for about 8 months, and we were doing some sparring, but we were also doing just a lot of the training, which, as you know, you're looking at a lot of like HIIT, like fucking exhausting stuff. We were doing that pretty much daily for like 8 months. I think there was a point I got into probably the best shape of my life, or at least since my 20s. Okay. And I was doubtless in better shape then than I probably was at 39 when I was in my heyday. But 39, I was, it was still happening for me. So while there is truth, self-improvement, look as good, fitness, blah, 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 there's definitely truth in that. It's not the only thing. It's like if you've got that extra thing, which you obviously have, you've got that charisma, you've got that game, whatever you want to call it, that overrides a lot. I'm not saying you can be a fat fuck, but you could definitely, get by without being Mr. Universe. If you've got the other stuff, because that's what's really important.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about, it really is all about your aura, how you carry yourself. And like, when you walk into a room and you're just like, I'm not a victim, I've got control of my life. They could smell it on you. You stand out. You're not a fucking normie. You're not an NPC. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I actually think that's one of the more difficult things to teach, personally. I don't know about you, John. I don't know if you have this issue, but I think we teach guys that, they can pick up the fundamentals of game pretty easily. All right, I say this, I approach it like that, I get a phone number, blah, blah, blah. And all of that stuff's great. But unless behind it, you've got the vibe, you're going to miss more shots than you're gonna hit, if that makes sense. It's like being an actor, like a great actor, like a Robert De Niro or somebody, right? The way he plays a role is going to be different from some fucking bum off the street who just reads the same lines. Like he's saying the same stuff, but it's not going to come across in any way the same way.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. I've been doing a lot of cold approach lately.
Because, really nice.
Yeah, because it really is where you get the best quality women.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And we have an epidemic of dudes being gigantic pussies. So like these girls, I talk to girls, like after I sleep with a girl, I always interview them. And I'm always like, tell me about yourself. What kind of guys you typically go for? How many guys cold approach you? And then these girls always show me they say almost nobody cold approaches them. And they all get like the most pathetic DMs. This one girl had a fucking folder saved of all her pathetic screenshots where I saw all these guys. And it's just, if you actually get out there and like, and it's going to sound like I'm grifting, but I don't give a fuck what anybody says. If you work with Troy, if you go and actually put on clothes, go meet up with him and do some boot camps and do some training, you will get results. And if you continue that, you're going to compound your expertise, and you're going to get to the point that, like, at this point, I'm 38 years old. Troy, I recently fired all my bitches recently. I'm tired.
Right.
I'm tired of them all. They're all fired. And so I just have so much abundance. Like, all I care about is just working out right now and building this. This is turning into a studio. I'm building this. It's like going to be like Pearl's thing.
Yeah.
You know? So I just moved in here on Monday.
Nice. Cool. Decent area, decent neighborhood, same sort of area, or without going into details?
Tokyo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Central Tokyo, within the 23 wards. Every area in Tokyo is decent area. You're not going to get mugged.
Cool.
They don't do immigration here that much.
Yeah. I need to get over there. Man. Have you got any other trips planned? Have you got any? Because I know you were doing the Philippines and stuff before. I mean, is there anything else, or are you just sticky in Tokyo?
We potentially have Bangkok on the 26th for our programs, because I've been doing way more in-person training, because that's just the only way. Like, you could sit on the internet and jerk off and talk about how cool you are as a content creator, but I don't care about that. I want to make an impact. So I've been doing way more in-person coaching, way more.
Well, that's I mean, that's what we've found, and I know, you know, we've had our history in Colombia and so on and so forth but I mean, the reason that I've done those events, and I've done those events with James, is because dress it up how you want. You could definitely teach people stuff online. There's no doubt that online courses are valuable, but to be there in somebody's physical presence and say, no, the way you did that, the way you looked at her, the way you said that, the way you kind of had that goofy smile, it was all wrong. You can't really replicate that. It's so fucking valuable.
Yeah. And I think the greatest thing is that these guys don't know what they don't know. And when they come and they realize it, you're like, that's the real red pill. That's like, oh my God, I've been doing it forever.
Well, we had a guy, I mean, this is going to sound cringe now, and it kind of, maybe, well, I don't think it is cringy. I think it was quite moving. We had a guy, we were in Colombia, we did a boot camp, and we had a guy from New York, and he said literally, and this is, you're going to think I'm capping, but he literally said this. He said, I felt like I died and I was reborn during this boot camp. Now, once again, it sounds ridiculously over the top, but what he meant was, he just, over the course of that 4 days, he just saw everything differently. And that's the effect that these things can have. Not just with me, with John, or with anybody, right? It's just, you just see reality in a different way. Once you see how it should be, it just changes your whole fucking perspective.
Yeah. I mean, I've been working with this guy, right? So this guy's like a Tokyo-based guy. He doesn't have a program or anything. He's just, did you get a tattoo?
Yeah, man. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look. I'll show you. I'll show you properly. Yeah.
Is that real?
Yeah.
When did you get a tattoo?
Last year. I went a bit nuts. I don't know.
Let me see.
Well, I can't really. I don't know what I could get in the camera. I've got a couple. I got a few. I went a bit nuts last year. I got a gun.
What does it say? I got a gun. Do the work.
No, I got a gun in Colombia. Yeah.
It's a gun in Colombia.
I got a gun in Colombia very quickly because I wanted to get something, and I was trying to think, what could I get? And I thought, well, it's like I want it to sort of represent. It's either going to be some powder, which is probably not going to be very appropriate, or I wanted to look. So I wanted something a bit gangster. The other one is like an anchor, because I've always quite liked the kind of sailory type stuff. I got a couple of other bits and pieces. It is what it is, man. I can cover it up.
It looks cool. It looks cool.
Yeah. I mean, I quite like it. I'd probably get some more. I mean, it's an interesting experience. It's kind of fun experience to do.
Looking good, man. That's cool as fuck.
But the whole thing about, guys will say, oh, I'm thinking about getting some tattoos to look edgy and stuff like that. And it's not really like that, man. It's like, if I'm not bigging myself up here, but if you're just some fucking dork or you're just some regular guy and you get a tattoo, it's not like the women are going to be falling all over themselves to want to bang you. It's just, it doesn't work like that. It's got to be a combination of things.
What if you tattoo your leg count on your knuckles?
That works. That works. that definitely works.
Do not tell me John Anthony Lifestyle actually did that. Oh no. Oh yeah. No. Is he like going every month back to the parlor to like get it changed up when he fucked another tranny or something?
Probably. Who knows? Who knows?
People still talk to him. It's like, have you not seen the MLD video where it's like, here it is. Here's all the evidence. This guy is a huge fuck up. It's like,
yeah, he got them all taken down, and he's actually suing. He's actually suing me right now for that. Isn't that hilarious?
With what money?
Oh, he's making money. He's doing good. So when you sue people, you can do what's called a discovery. And no, he made like $2 million in revenue, like 2022.
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
so,
he finally got his shit together.
I mean, so to be fair, and I mean, I don't think any of us particularly like the guy, but I mean, that's
let's putting it softly.
He's doing the business, which is he's
hey,
just doing it.
If he can make it, anybody can make it. I mean, that's motivation right there.
Fuck it out, yeah. Oh, what do you know? What it was? Is it mainly boot camps, life trainings, or courses?
Yeah, So what he does is he sells a system for like a sliding scale. He basically finds out how desperate the guy is and how much money he has, and they'll start at like 20,000, and they'll try to get him at 15. They'll try to get him at 10. Then they go down as low as 6, and then they get off the call. So
okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, well, it is what it is. It's working for him, but yeah, man. Well, yeah. Let's not get too into the legal side of things, but yeah, man, that was fun.
I'm not worried about it. He can do nothing to me.
I remember that time. I remember the time you got served the papers because I was there, wasn't I? Do you remember?
I know. It's funny. Listen, yeah. God is on my side. I believe that my success and everything is an act of divinity. So I'm not worried about anything. I'm a good person. I got no skeletons in my closet. I hold no. I hide nothing. I mean, yeah, like I'm a little bit of a wild man when I go to Colombia and shit like that. But hey, I openly talk about it on the internet, so I got nothing to hide.
Well, I think we all get a little bit wild when we go to Colombia, man. Not that I can talk too much about it, but maybe I'll. But
why else would you go to Colombia? So, where are you now?
Well, right now I'm in London. But doubtless there'll be some more trips coming up later in the year. I mean, maybe we can figure something out. Maybe I can come over to Tokyo and visit, and we could do some.
You should. Shit. I think I'm banned on your channel. I don't know. One of your moderators doesn't like me because I was typing in the chat. Did you see me type in the chat?
Yeah, I saw it on. I'll unban you if. Actually, no. I saw it on YouTube. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I'll have a look anyway.
I just typed yo. I don't know if you guys in the chat can see it.
I can't see
typing.
it.
Yeah, it looks like I'm shadow banned.
I don't know why that is, man, but I'll sort that out. But and what are you doing just generally now? Because you've started streaming again, right? So what's the plan? So that now, and have you got courses coming up and things, or?
Yeah, we'll talk. I want to have you back on the show, and then I'm building a whole studio here to start doing panel shows.
Oh, nice. Tokyo. Okay, nice. Okay, well, I mean, seriously, let me have a look at it because I really want to get over to Tokyo. So maybe you could even meet Mrs. Francis if she hasn't done me by that point. Maybe she could. She's probably up there as well. So
come on down.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
I'm happy you're happy.
Well, I mean, things are going good at the moment, so that's the best you could ask for. I mean, we get a day at a time, don't we, at this stuff? So but I'm it's good. It's good.
So let me run. I'll talk about a juicy story since we're on your channel and all my girls don't really stalk me over here.
Okay.
I want to run something by you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You tell me. You be the judge, jury, executioner. So I was recently dating this girl, right? I met her out at a lounge, right? I was with the guys in this rooftop lounge. It's called C'est La Vie here in Tokyo, right?
Oh, nice.
And Jack's back. Jack, you could be judged on this too, okay?
Yeah.
So met this girl at a rooftop bar, whatever. Exchanged Instagrams. I have Instagram DMs turned off because I just fucking like, if you're gonna DM me, like you can't respond to my stories with a message. You know what I mean? You have to actually make an effort to message me. So I just posted my typical stuff, and I was repping 100 kilograms at the gym. This was in like early November, and she went out of her way, DM me. She's like, "Oh my god, you're so strong." I was like, oh, "Okay, I know where this is going." Long story short, I start dating this chick. Just nothing serious. We go on like 4 or 5 dates. She's like real, wouldn't let me bang, for a while. So we start seeing each other, right? I sleep with her in like mid-February, and then we, I'm not too invested. I'm just having fun, whatever. I'm going to, Manila. I'm going to Hawaii. I went to Hawaii 3 times this year. I went to Okinawa already, Miami. So, when I'm here, I see with her, she like loves to spend the night, whatever the case may be. So when we first started seriously, like, she started seeing me, not seriously, but coming over consistently. I read them the riot act now. Okay. And I say, hey, here's the deal. I like you. Okay. And I enjoy your time together, but I'm just going to let you know that if any point during our interaction, if you go meet a guy for lunch or dinner, or you start messaging other guys or entertaining other guys, and I find out about it, it's over 1,000%, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's my rule. I don't have time for fucking crazy simps coming after me. I'm too rich for that shit. And I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with fucking hoes like that. You guys want to deal with some bitches messaging other guys?
No.
No.
Right? No. Fuck that shit. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So then I'm moving on Monday here, right? And then she's getting a little catty, and I was just telling her like, hey, you can come or you can go. Like, it's your choice. You're whatever. I was so, how it is when you're moving. It's fucking hell. So I was just so busy. I had these fucking Vietnamese people. They smashed my fucking TV. I have to buy a new TV. I was dealing with all that shit, and she's getting really angry. She's like, you know what? I don't think this is gonna work out. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, thanks for everything. Bye. And I was just like, okay, whatever. I was just like, oh, okay, sounds good. I was like, I'll start the timer now. And that was Monday. So Tuesday morning, she sends me a message. I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. But then I start like running calculations in my head. I'm like, women, when it comes to relationships and men, they have a scarcity mindset, right? And they are not going to get rid of somebody, let alone a good-looking multimillionaire like myself, unless they have something on the back burner, right? So Tuesday, she is apologizing, whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. Come to the new place. I want to talk to you face to face. So we sit down on the bed. She comes over, and she's like, look, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. And I just look at her. I was like, hey, are you messaging another guy right now? And she's like, why are you suddenly asking me this?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, of course not. I was like, okay. I was like, are you lying to me? She's like, no, I'm not lying to you. I was like, okay. I was like, let me see your phone. And she says, no.
Done.
And I'm like, yeah. And Jack, good work. But I just said to her, so listen to this. So then I say, why? And she's just there, right? And then I start reading her body language. So she has her phone here, and then she just pulls it to her lap, and she has a bag. She opens the bag, puts the zipper, and zips her phone up. And she's like, it's my private things. It's my private things. It's my private things. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to tell you something right now. Either you show me the phone, or you go home right now, and I never see you again. She's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. She's going on and on and on how she doesn't want to show me her phone, but there's nothing on there. And I said, okay, look, I'm serious. I was like, and I don't know if there was a language thing. I was like, I'm very serious. So I opened up like the WhatsApp. I was like, this is you. Now you're blocked. This is your Instagram. Now you're blocked. I was like, this is your iMessage. You're blocked, and now you're deleted. Please get the fuck out of my luxurious penthouse. Go back to the middle class where you belong. Okay?
Yes.
So, what do you think? Was I too crazy?
No.
Like, would you tolerate that, Troy, or would you? Is she innocent?
No.
I don't know. I don't think she's innocent. The only very small point I would make is if it's very early days, it depends what you want from this woman. If you just want to have a quick fuck, does it really matter that much?
No, she was coming over on a consistent basis, spending the night, cooking, cleaning, saying "I love you" and stuff. You know.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Fine. In that case, no. I agree. I think you did the right thing. Funnily enough, right? There's a guy in my chat, and he was saying, and he's made some money as well, by the way. And he says what he does is after the first, maybe they've slept together or whatever, he'll ask to see their phone, and if they refuse, he'll dump them. But he'll ask to see their phone. He'll look through the phone, and then what he'll do a couple of weeks later, he'll hire a private detective on them to trail them. and he said, and I was like, "Fucking hell, this guy's not messing around." But he said, actually, most girls don't make it to the private detective stage because what I see on their phone is like I see something on their phone and then they're fired anyway. So I mean, I think it's depending on what you're looking at. I have probably in the past not let things go. Like if it's very obvious, like she's opens it up and she's texting some dude, you know, whatever. Yeah, all right, fuck off. But sometimes if you're just there and it's just for casual, then it's a bit like, okay, don't ask, don't tell, whatever. But if I was going to in any way be serious with somebody and that happened, then I think, yeah, you're absolutely right.
I have made that mistake. And now when John said, when he asked her, show me your phone, she said, no, done. It's like, yeah, right there. It's because John, Troy, and I have been there where a girl's like, here's my phone. We've been there where a girl's just like, no, and ifs or buts, here's my phone. Can you hold on to my phone? Blah, blah, because women don't have pockets, because they buy trash clothing, because of course. When you have that, compared to a girl who's kind of fucking with you and you ask her for the phone and she says no, it's like, it's an instant done.
No, she was clearly not innocent. There was clearly something going on, man. You're better off out of it, man, because it's just and it's lack of respect as well.
Your dollar bills will wipe your tears. Do you still have that stack?
You know, it's funny. I found $100 bill on the floor the other day in my apartment. I think it's over here.
Wipe your tears away, my friend. We are here for you.
Oh yeah, I got it right here. I'll just be
sad times.
Oh, whatever will I do?
But we need. I think there's an important point here actually, which is as guys we need to learn to be a bit more ruthless. And I think a lot of guys we're just because of lack of, which nobody here has, but because of a perceived lack of abundance and scarcity, guys will let a lot of stuff pass, and you shouldn't let it pass. But the problem is, like my client was saying, you know, he checks these girls' phones. Most of them don't make the fucking first test. So the problem is we're in a situation where we're in an epidemic of girls who are doing this kind of shit all the time. Now, he did say further down in the message, it's okay. It's not necessarily they're physically like sleeping with these dudes or whatever, but they're definitely talking to them. They're definitely doing kind of shit. And it's sort of, do you want to be involved with that? And why be involved with that when there's so much opportunity out there anyway?
There are good girls out there, and it's just so, for me, it's just so dirty. I'm like, bitch, you are nasty. Like, and then we'll do, so, you know, obviously as you date the girl, the mask starts to slip, you know, and I started doing a little bit of deep diving, and I find out, you know, she was severely bullied when she was little. She has self-esteem issues, and she's a fucking beautiful girl, you know, beautiful skin.
Always hide something.
Well, you know, I mean, you know, if she's hot and she's single and she's, you know, hot girls that are good, they're not on the market. They're swept up pretty quickly. You know, they get pumped up full of babies and shit, you know. If you're a hot commodity and you're a woman, you're not left on the market that long. You know, it's something like it's like seeing a Rolex in the dollar store. You're like, wait a minute. This isn't my lucky day. It's like when you're in Colombia and you're swiping, you're like a really, really hot girl. You're like, is this a fucking tranny? Like, I know how good looking I am. I'm not this good looking, you know.
Well, and then James is like, yeah, come over at 7.
James is like, yes, he's like, fucking bring him on, yeah. I'll suck your dick.
Yeah, allegedly. And anyway, but,
oh my god, yeah,
man. Well, listen, yeah. No, I think guys have got to be more fucking ruthless about this shit. You know, we're not ruthless enough, and women fucking are. I mean, if women find out, like,
look,
you know,
see, this guy Alan says my MO is on this situation. I downgrade the relationship from the gold. Fuck that, bro. Have you ever gotten an STD? That shit's whack, man. I'm not like, I don't know who or what was going on, but for me, it was the thing that pisses me off. You ever see The Boys? You know the show The Boys?
Yeah.
Right?
no.
Like when I'm just like Homelander. Like when people lie to me, I want to fucking kill them. I'm just like, are you like, you have the audacity to think you're fucking smarter than me?
That's
you think
the
I'm
worst
gonna figure
part.
this out? Like, bitch, I'm a fucking multimillionaire who came from nothing. I can figure out your little whore brain. Okay, so don't fucking lie.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
That's the worst part, where it's like, you actually think I'm stupid. I find that worse than the lying. I truly find that worse than the lying. Like, do you think I'm retarded? Like, come on. It's like, And then it's like, oh, but I'm so sorry. Yeah, but what did you think how this would happen? Do you really think I'm going to forgive you? Like, we're going to ignore the elephant in the room? You have just ruined a good thing by being a moron. You have just ruined this great thing. I don't even want to look at you. I can't look at you. You can be naked. Bring me ice cream, pizza, whatever. I don't even want to fuck you anymore. Good job. Grand old job. Congrats, Joe.
But unfortunately, this kind of stuff is happening more and more. You know, it's becoming the norm, isn't it? You know, multiple contacts, messaging here and there, and all this kind of shit. It's just, you know,
because you can't trust women anymore. It's just very simple. Just
well, if you ever could, but
you can trust them to be women.
But you know, I don't get too black pill about it. Like, I don't think, like, you know, because here's the thing, right? When you're out here in these streets, you know, and you're having promiscuous sex, you're sleeping around. Again, like, to a degree, a woman being single is a red flag. It's like, bitch, why are you single? Like, what's wrong with you? You know, like, are you a fucking Quaker? Are you Amish? Like, do you know, is your dad locking you in the barn? Like, a woman being single is a red flag. It's like, okay, like, what's going on here? Because, like, we're so dumb and easy to catch. So, like, where to, you know?
But, you know, equally, again, like you said, I think it's also, we can get too black pilled about this. I mean, there are good women out there. It's not like every woman is just immediately just, you know, just fucking Tyrone as soon as your back's turned. I mean, that stuff gets over exaggerated as well, I think. But you know, it is about, I hate the term, but it is about vetting to some extent. You know, it
is. And I'm sorry, I just want to add to this. In my experience, what I've learned is that ultimate way to vet somebody is through time. That's the only way.
Yes, I would agree entirely. And again, this is something I think Andrew Tate said very well, which people, you know, think Andrew Tate is going to be like, yeah, fuck me toes, whatever. But I saw him on Fresh and Fit one time, and he was basically saying, look, I mean, I don't try to control her at all. I don't tell her to do anything. I don't tell her not to go to the club. I don't tell her to do this or that. I just literally, you know, observe her behavior over time and see what happens. And if what happens is cool and I'm on board with it, fine. And if it's not, then we finish, and that's it. You know,
that's the thing. It's not only vetting, it's those boundaries as well, and not boundary enforcement. This is what a lot of guys get wrong. Boundaries are not for her, they're for you. Your boundary is walking away. Your boundary is your attention. She pulls shit you don't like, cut off communication. And then it's up to her. If she deems you worth the damn, she'll put in the effort. If not, goodbye.
Yeah. Well, we've covered quite a lot. I need to get going because I need to go and make sure this fucking A-list body is in perfect shape for whatever my next trip's going to be. But what have we got coming up next, guys? What about you, MLD? Anything interesting, exciting in the pipeline?
I'm going to be doing my free consultation Friday show here in about 9.5 hours. So
nice.
Modern Life Dating is my YouTube channel. Go to Modern Life Dating. Call me. I'll talk to you for free. Answer your questions. Just watch the channel. I just did I just kind of, because Rich did that whole thing. He was like, MLD, blah, 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 blah. I'm bald and gay. And I was just like, I just refuted it with comedy, So that was just that. And then, I did a whole series recently. Make money, make muscles, learn game, hold frame. Troy, you might, if you have the time, watch my learn game. It's a 2-hour-long live stream. But I literally map out everything on how these guys can go from cold approach, getting the number, how to get ready for the date, what to do on the date, how to go for the sex, and then how to put her on rotation.
Nice.
Start betting her.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll watch that definitely. Sounds good, and I'll let you know. We'll speak offline anyway because we need to catch up properly. And and Jack, what about you? What exciting? Any Lego building streams?
No. Seriously, I met a guy who's way more into Lego than I am. He is now king. It's like every time somebody brings up my Legos, it's like go to Huds from the Dragon ship. He builds Legos with his chick. They have like these couple therapy sessions.
Lego sex.
Yeah, something like that. Oh my god, man! A brick fucking vibrator.
Could you build like a Lego dildo or something? You don't. I mean that.
I would truly believe some women would be into that pain. I would not put it past them. Really no.
Yeah.
But they're out there.
Oh yeah. There's some brave minds out
They're
there.
out there.
Great evening with Rob tonight at 10 p.m. Central. No, 11 p.m. Central. After that, Rule Zero on Paul Come On Man podcast channel, and we're going to do Post Zero on Sunday with Steven, who went to Brazil, became an independent adjuster, so that's going to be interesting. So yeah,
good stuff. Nice. And as far as I'm concerned, I've got videos coming out every day on the channel right now. So just stay tuned and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give us a comment. We've got I think a lot of you guys are on Twitter, but there's about 400 and odd live viewers on this now. So we should have at least 400 likes. So please do that.
Whoa, and, really? On Twitter?
Well, I think a lot of it's coming from X. Because this is going on X as well as my YouTube. But anyway, so
follow me on X, MLD Motivation.
Follow him on X. What's your new X, Jack?
MLD Motivation.
Yes, definitely follow MLD. And Jack, what's yours, Jack?
Mine is not Jack Knapp because my Twitter got suspended for dumb reasons.
Yeah.
First time.
No, the second time, actually. The first time because I called somebody the F word, and then I got it back because Elon bought it, so thank the Lord. But he's like, oh, free speech, and blah, blah, blah. And then I had a couple of, Karens in my mentions calling me a kid diddler because I said if they ban porn, married women have to put out. And I kind of got tired of their bullshit, so I put a goatsy as a reply. And they did not like that, so they reported me. It's like,
what's a goatsy?
That is a very old internet meme that what was it? It was goat.ce, and you could send that to your friends, and when they opened that, you would stare into a man's rectum who we would stretch out.
It's extremely unpleasant. Ryan Stone uses a lot. It's extremely unpleasant.
It's like Lemon Party and shit like that. Don't you guys know that? I still want to have Aaron Clary open lemonparty.org on stream and get his reaction.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
I grew up with the internet, guys. I have seen some shit.
Yeah, man. Well, anyway, on that note, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. See you all very soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.